dance festivals to the sea sculptures they did on the beach. They did so many things.
From the bathing bells of the 1930s, wartime.
I go to every concert that was at Cleethorpes Winter Gardens from being 12.
So there's a lot of teenagers and adults in the town now who will remember it.
Pleasure Island was the reason that Cleethorpes was really put on the map.
Endless names had played this venue. It was so iconic.
I just could not believe the amount of people that were standing there in front of it.
Popular seaside resort continues to reinvent its entertainment.
It's just such a magic place.
Welcome to the Heritage Channel on Clee TV, where we explore the fascinating history of North East Lincolnshire in a monthly roundup of news, views and other stories. If you're watching on YouTube, click the subscribe button below, or on Facebook, join the group to make sure you don't miss any of our programmes. On the Heritage Channel tonight, the unique community of the Humberston Fitties and Festivals by the Sea. But first, a Festival of the Sea that promises to bring an exciting programme of street theatre, live music and heritage activities to the newly refurbished St James Square. Grimsby's Festival of the Sea is in St James Square and other venues around the town on Saturday the 16th of July. The tradition of seaside festivals has been part of our coastal heritage for many generations, entertaining both locals and visitors alike. In the last of our Seaside Showcase series, we explore the festivals that have emerged since the turn of the century. Our final programme celebrating carnivals, festivals and entertainment in the popular seaside town of Cleethorpes looks at events established since the turn of the century, heralding the changing scope and style of community events and visitor entertainment. In June each year, tens of thousands of people flock to this small seaside town to enjoy the spectacular display of marching bands, aeronautics, market stalls, exhibitions, fireworks and music that makes up the Armed Forces Day. First held in 2006, this nationwide event, held in towns and cities around the country, commemorates the men and women in the British Armed Forces. Each year, one venue is chosen to host the national celebrations. In 2016, Cleethorpes was honoured with a task. In a prestigious event attended by the Duke of Kent and Prime Minister David Cameron, the large crowd were entertained by the Red Arrows, Marine Commandos, Battle of Britain Memorial Flight and a spectacular firework display. In 2020, the festival was held online with virtual performances broadcast to audiences around the country. Armed Forces Day will return to its normal format when circumstances allow. The annual Birdhouse Family Festival, first held in 2016, features fantastic circus and street theatre from national touring performers, indoor theatre, interactive storytelling, creative workshops and nature activities. It makes the most of the resort's unique spaces and places while engaging families with artists and their work. In 2020, the festival theme was On the Beach, featuring archaeology adventures, children's art awards, storytelling and beach art.
So Life's a Beach is a birdhouse project. So it's for children and families, and it's about introducing children to nature. So this one in particular is focusing on Cleethorpes, helping children to learn more about the wildlife in Cleethorpes, around the boating lake and along the beach, things like that. So we've produced 2 videos that are sort of on location there that'll explain more about that. And then there's creative opportunities, so there'll be craft tutorials that are related to the wildlife in Cleethorpes. As well as that, we've got an artist in residence coming, James Brunt, who's been doing some really fantastic work on beaches. You know, people will need something to brighten their spirits. So that was the ambition.
Festival of the Sky, first held in 2019, heralds a new era of community carnivals with dazzling street parades, carnival arts and live music.
I suppose my ethos around festivals is about accessibility. You know, I think for an event like this, we wanted to make it free, we wanted to make it public, we wanted to make it engaging. We all work so hard for the love of festivals and what they do for communities and how they uplift the spirit.
When you create something in an area like Cleethorpes, it means that the local population just enjoy living here a lot more.
The more we do things like this, I think it brings people here more, and I think it shows how good Cleethorpes really is, to be honest.
I think it's about time really Cleethorpes had somewhere like this, area had something like this, a bit of arts and a bit of culture, and you can see some of the kids really love it, and that's what I really liked.
And something like Festival of the Sky does nothing but attract people to the area. And in particular, that take place like this in September, not in the height of summer, but right at the end of the season when you might think things are starting to quieten down. Look at it. It's going to be enormous. This is going to be one of the biggest weekends in Cleethorpes.
We're already seeing the benefits to local businesses. You know, restaurants are stacked out, the retailers have gotten on board with the competition. So it's just a fantastic event, and to celebrate Cleethorpes and our wonderful beach.
And it becomes about investing locally. So I think it has been this amazing collaboration where we've brought in expertise that's kind of from outside the area, but we've also had amazing people to work with, and we've learned from them as well.
This is where we all invested our lives in. So to see something as fantastic as Festival of the Sky, it makes a big difference. Of course you want to be involved. We all want to be involved.
Spanning 3 centuries, festivals in Cleethorpes have celebrated every form of art and entertainment, from music and dance to arts and crafts and theatre and circus. This popular seaside resort continues to repurpose its venues and reinvent its entertainment to reflect the changing tastes and expectations of new generations. Launching at Festival of the Sea, Freeman Street Fringe, Paint the Town Proud is an ambitious project led by Creative Starts to adorn the town with a series of large-scale murals and celebrate Grimsby's famous history with interactive and digital storytelling.
In its simplest terms, we're going to paint some heritage-based murals around the town in certain areas, and we're going to do a lot of research, and we want to look at the kind of hidden heritage as well, not just the obvious stuff.
Giving people that little bit more pride back in the town, letting people really think about what makes them proud, you know, so we can start building pictures around the place that will actually reflect real local people's opinions, the roles that people have had.
If we can get it to please the majority of people and it makes them feel good about their town, then brilliant, we're onto a winner there. And if we can involve as many people as possible in that, then I'm happy.
We're hoping to develop the project so that we can feature some augmented reality, digital storytelling as well, We're going to be working on a documentary film and some soundscapings. It's a huge collaboration of a lot of artists, both local and national. So we're actually launching officially as part of the Festival of the Sea programme. We're part of the Fringe programme, which is happening at the Freeman Street Market. We're welcoming people to come and tell their stories. They'll have the opportunity to take part in the actual live painting as well, and we want to get some feedback as well to help, drive our activity.
It's about everybody, it's about everybody, as many people taking part.
Yeah, the community aspects of what we do are so vital, because actually that's what's so vital in recovery. It's what helped all the people that are in this building, but I think it's generally what's going to help society at large, and I think it's going to help take Grimsby into the future.
But it'd be lovely for my son who's born here to go, my dad painted that, or my dad was part of painting that. That to me, that's what it's all about for me.
Join in the community consultation, live mural painting and memory lane interviews between 11 and 3 at the Freeman Street Festival Fringe on Saturday the 17th of July. 3 of the leading care providers in North East Lincolnshire have joined together to offer a complete range of services for those in later life.
3 organisations who deal with older people are all coming together to offer a holistic service where older people can get whatever they need.
We've formed it so that we are working together, serving the community, and we all have the same aims.
I think the benefits are that the older person gets a wider choice, and also it's about wider reach.
The new Later Life Partnership provides a full range of services and support to help you maintain your independence and make the most of later life. Coming up on tonight's show, the unique heritage of the Humberston Fitties and the final part of Made in Grimsby. But first, news from North East Lincolnshire's Heritage Network with Gail Graham.
We just had our third meeting of the Heritage Network. We had such a wide-ranging topics on discussion. A new project that's just started up by Lincolnshire County Council on historic pubs. We're asking for a new project. We're appealing for ideas specifically sort of around memories or tales or folklores or myths around women. Really good feedback, lots of involvement. It's a fantastically diverse network. We're very, very busy. We're working towards a big event at the moment, which is going to be held at Bolingbroke Castle, which is in the Lincolnshire Wolds, the 14th and 15th of August, called Bolingbroke Back in Time. So we're going to be taking you back to the medieval period, which was the heyday of the castle. And then the other big programme that we are building towards is that we support Lincolnshire's Heritage Open Days programme, which is a fantastic event held all over the county, and it's a national event as well, held over the 10th to the 19th of September.
If you're interested in heritage issues and would like to join the network, email Gail at Heritage Lincolnshire. Funding applications for Seacorn heritage projects of between £3,000 and £10,000 will open to the Heritage Network members in August.
One of the clear aims of the network is that they want to shout more about what they have in the area and to take that forward in a practical way by delivering projects through the National Lottery Heritage Fund's grant programme, which is shortly about to open for applicants. And we're hoping to open the scheme in August, with the first deadline for applications being the last Wednesday in September.
If you have an idea for a heritage project and need help to develop it or find partners to work with, contact the Heritage Lincolnshire team through the simple form on their website. Here's one idea from local artist Sarah Palmer, whose work is currently on display at the Hammond House Gallery in Louth.
The Lincolnshire coast is beautiful. I think that the Humberston Fitties in Cleethorpes is a really important example of social history, in that it was formed as part of the Plotlands movement, which had a backdrop of people trying to escape industrial towns,
People have come and stayed here since before the First World War in ad hoc buildings and shelters. And as time progressed, the chalets became more permanent. So my chalet here, it's been here since the 1920s. It's still the original building. And this whole concept that the heritage of the chalets is important, and as people move in and develop the chalets, is to try and maintain that overall feeling of natural materials, and that chalets fit in with the design guide, which is put in place really to maintain the heritage of the site.
There were quite a few settlements that were part of the Plotlands area, and I think there's probably only one or two left. I think one of them is become quite run down, whereas this area, it has been looked after by people.
It is a site of special scientific interest, this area. In fact, a lot of the land around the Humber is, as I'm sure you know. And so, you know, people have all sorts of different concerns that they have. But really, I think people just want to keep the place going. It's one of the last remaining plotlands in England, so I think it's quite important.
I want to make a sketchbook of the area to show, you know, just the different types of like architecture that there is. I also want to create a map of the Fitties, showing where there are important chalets, you know, where some of the older ones are, and do a walking tour so that people can walk around and you can explain a little bit more about the heritage of the area and the buildings. I think it's important people understand why it's a conservation area, what makes it important, because the conservation area status helps to protect this really special place.
You know, moving forward, the heritage of the chalets and the environment has been really important, and that planning and looking really closely at how the chalets are developed.
If we don't follow that, in the years to come, we'll end up with a caravan park. We have to find a way of working in balance with the wildlife, with the people who own the properties, with the visitors, with the landowners. It's always been a bit of a juggling act. It is really, really special, and it is an example of how ordinary working people created their little escape by the sea with whatever they could find.
In the final episode of Made in Grimsby, a Culture House initiative that celebrates some of our fascinating and talented people, we meet DJ Mark Newby.
I've always collected music since I was a baby, apparently. I didn't have the conventional teddy bear that kids have. I used to carry around 3 records and I took them everywhere. My father was a big vinyl collector and he's played in many bands growing up on the Beatles in the 60s and the 70s prog rock era, and then started hearing hip hop from the US. There was just so much music just coming, and it's just like, oh, I'll have a bit of that, I'll have a bit of that, I'll have a bit of that. In my head, I'm still raving again. I started DJing, I think, when I was about 16, 17. I've done quite a few around town. We did the pier and just little things like that. I think I started more properly when I started doing Willie's wine bar. And Bill used to just say, oh yeah, we'll bring the decks up and we'll just play and we'll have a bit of a party. And we just did that. We got to play Ministry of Sound and for Kiss FM in the early 90s. Which was great. I mean, that was a big eye-opener. I mean, I tried London, didn't like it, come home. Yeah, I love it here. You got your family, your friends and stuff like that. But I think it's always been good, and I think everybody tries to help everybody out here.
And there's a real love for good music, of people who live in the area. So whether that's jazz, funk, soul, that kind of thing. So there's quite a cool scene.
My involvement with Culture House is through Charlotte. I've known Charlotte probably since about 89-90 because she came to the same customs place as us for night dancing and club nights and stuff.
I think Mark always has a really great repertoire. He's got brilliant taste in music. He's got a great reputation. So, you know, we've been pleased to associate with him for our events, host him alongside live touring acts, and it's a really good complementary partnership, I think.
I like the way that Culture House are doing it though, what they're trying to bring in, and they're always thinking of the community. I don't know where she gets her ideas from, to be fair. I really don't.
Well, that's almost all for tonight's programme. If you're watching on Facebook, don't forget to join our group, or on YouTube, click the subscribe button below to make sure you don't miss any of our programmes. If you have a heritage story you would like to share, contact our news desk, heritage@clee.tv. We hope you enjoyed tonight's programme and look forward to seeing you next month for more people, places and heritage news.
For some time before you hear me so much as utter goodbye.